Look at Jebediah's beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I was contemplating shaving it today just because I have to spend so much time wearing a mask at work that, you know, you get, for those of you with hair, you get hat head. Well, I get like mask face.
Yep.
So
I trimmed all mine down for that same reason. I was getting tired of it.
yeah,
So it's real short.
Yeah, me too.
You got a baby face, Daniel. Sorry, but you do. It's so buttery smooth.
It's like an android's behind.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is years of trying. This is as far as I get.
That's funny.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
That's too good. All right, ready to get rocking and rolling?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Space, the final frontier.
Sir, the Federation does have enemies. We must seek them out.
Yes. That's how it starts.
And we can fade her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's way too long. What asshole made it so long?
I don't know. We'll just let it play in the background. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to chuckle this morning. I saw on Facebook somebody was like, "Oh, Trekcast has new episodes. Is it still is it still the original hosts?"
I just saw that.
And
I just saw that.
And all the comments are basically me and Daniel talking about how the new hosts suck.
Right, as they should.
I'm talking about this one guy. You know, two of them are okay, but one guy literally phones it in from his car.
Yeah. Well, you would think if you haven't listened to the show in probably 3 years, because it's been 4 years now, 4 years since David made his last show, really. So if you haven't listened to the show in 4 years and you're still in the group and you've seen all this freaking activity,
well, they may not, because you know the way Facebook works.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in groups that I haven't posted in years, and because of that, I'm still in the group, and because of that, the algorithm won't show me the posts that are happening there until the hive mind detects me typing something related to that group, and then all of a sudden I'll get it'll show up on my feed. Just a random post from that group. So that's probably what happened. You know, somebody probably, you know, we go off on tangents in that group. Somebody probably talked about hot dogs the same day that he did a post about meeting somebody at Nathan's, and boom, he gets a notification from Trekcast.
Yeah.
Or maybe he was typing something about sandwiches. Was it a hot dog or a sandwich? Anyway.
Well, maybe it all came about too because of the there is no such thing as truth. There's only your perception of it. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know who said that. I wish I know where that.
Maybe he somehow typed the word Chad and gibberish in the same sentence.
The Chad.
He's probably searching for an image of a jackass and came upon me, and there you go.
There you go.
So anyway, okay, so we got an ad here. So, today's episode is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. If you have a need for a new employee or even just to replace an underperforming employee, like, I don't know, say an editor for your podcast, because the one you have is an unpaid intern and they still don't get it right, like dyslexia. Like they type in 205 instead of 250. I don't know, like say Daniel. So how does this work? Well, it finds qualified people in your area that have a skill set that's better than that of a trained chihuahua, one that maybe isn't dyslexic, and it shoves that candidate right into your cranium until you can't resist anymore. Kind of like those nanoprobe thingies that shoved into the douche's head in Section 31. Member control? So go on over to trekcast.com/what are you doing here to get a link that takes you nowhere and try out ZipRecruiter for free today. Okay, there's the ad.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah,
and that's actually a website. That's actually a page on the website.
Nice.
Couldn't help myself.
Chad had some free time.
Yes, I did. I was in a hotel room this week. Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
It is fun. Okay, so here, let's see if you guys can guess what song this is. It's an old one. second.
By Christina
Come on in
Aguilera.
here, come on in here, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Come on in
That's John Cougar Mellencamp, I think, right? Oh no, I'm sorry, he dropped the Cougar. It's just John Mellencamp.
John
Got it.
Mellencamp. No,
Smashing Pumpkins.
not Stevie Nicks either. Whatever her name was.
Yeah. No, I don't know. What is
It's
that?
something. It's an artist from TNG. It's an
An
artist. It's referenced in TNG. I'll put it that way.
It's an artist that gets referenced in TNG.
Mm-hmm.
I almost said Vic Fontaine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
I'm like,
TNG.
wait, he's not TNG.
The greatest. This guy sold more sheet music at the turn of the century, 20th century,
Wait. Is it the Wild Stallions?
than anybody else. Yeah, that's right. It's Bill and Ted. There you go. No, it's Irving Berlin.
Yes.
Ragtime. There you go. So.
Okay.
But you have to say it like Worf. You got to say Irving Berlin.
Yeah, exactly. No, I just ran across that. I thought that was fun.
All right, cool.
All right.
And it's Trek related, so kind of.
There you go. Yeah. How much
It's
does
all-
Irving Berlin come on your playlist?
On YouTube, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, he's in the Irving Berlin fan group on Facebook, so
Oh,
he gets
yeah.
notifications.
No, actually, you're right. That's correct. I typed in data, and Irving Berlin came up, and that's how I found that group I joined 20 years ago.
That's funny.
So whatever. How was everybody's week?
Yeah, I got stuck working a double 2 days in a row, so that's
Yeah.
What's great is like when you're in the car pulling out of the parking lot and the phone rings and it's like, hey, you got any plans this afternoon? and you just let me just put this back in park because something tells me I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
So 2 days in a row that happened. So
man.
2 days ago on my way home from work, I wanted to do something nice for my wife, so I stopped at the Cheesecake Factory and picked up 2 pieces of cheesecake, which I've had Cheesecake Factory cheesecake. I've never actually purchased it before. So when the woman rang it up and it was like $22 for 2 pieces of cheesecake, I damn near fell over. But
wait, for pieces, not like a pie.
A piece, like a slice.
Was 22 for 2 of them?
$22 for 2 pieces of cheesecake.
$11 a piece.
Now,
for those of you in Rio Linda who could
I'm so
out
outraged. I'm speaking Spanish about this.
Yeah. Now, granted, I'm fairly certain they're laced with crack because they're amazing.
Oh yeah,
they're amazing.
Well, the crack does cost more.
Yeah.
You pay for quality.
Exactly.
But,
it's not powdered sugar anymore.
But I came home and I surprised my wife and we made plans to watch some television on the couch with a glass of wine and some cheesecake after the kids went to sleep. And I put that's my life. I put one kid to sleep, she put the other kid to sleep, we both fell asleep putting the kids to sleep, and no cheesecake. So the next day I come home from work and it's like, hey, tonight, me and you, we got a date on the couch. We're going to watch some Netflix. We're going to eat some cheesecake. We're going to drink some wine. Okay, same thing. She puts one kid to bed. I put the other kid to bed. I wake up 2:00 this morning. And now it's a fight in my head. Do I go back to sleep or do I stand in front of the sink in the kitchen at 2:00 in the morning shoving cheesecake in my face?
You eat the cheesecake. You just do it. You just go for it.
No, because then you know what? I got those for her. And
if
she gets up the next morning and goes to the fridge to get the milk for coffee, and there's a half-eaten piece of cheesecake in there, what kind of douchewagon am I after that?
Yeah.
So
That's true.
The point of the story is I bought this cheesecake like 3 days ago, and it's still sitting there in the fridge. That's the longest cheesecake has ever survived in the Lombardo fridge.
What flavors?
One is Oreo cookie cheesecake. The other one is Reese's peanut butter cup cheesecake.
Damn, those sound good.
Yeah.
Cheesecake then. That's just
cheesecake's my favorite. So.
No. Chad, have you been to the Cheesecake Factory?
Yes, I have. And there's 50 million different kinds. I know.
Okay.
But...
So you got a slice of cheesecake this thick.
Yeah.
And there's this much Oreo on the top. Don't tell me that's not a cheesecake.
Well,
if you don't want the Oreos, you scrape them off and you still
True.
have an amazing slice of cheesecake.
True.
Okay. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, hashtag Chad is wrong.
There you go.
Nothing about cheesecake. Let's get that trending again.
Cheesecake is supposed to have cherries on top, and it's supposed to be plain cheesecake with the crumb crust at the graham type crust at the bottom, and that's it. That's what it is.
Maybe like 10 years ago, we had a cheesecake factory over here, and then it went out of business.
Yeah,
how'd that happen?
Now the one down on the plaza went out of the business here too. That's weird. It's weird. I don't think they're. I think they're kind of screwy with how they do. Well, the one on the plaza that was in Kansas City was just a freaking Taj Mahal. That building had to have cost $20 million to build. I mean, it's just, it was gorgeous. Everything was marble. Everything was huge towers, and it was beautiful. But I don't know how you make your money back on cheesecake like that. Well, okay. A dinner there was $100 a piece. It wasn't your normal Cheesecake Factory, but yeah.
You charge $11 for a slice of cheesecake.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's how you make your money.
Yeah. And then you put Oreo cookie stuff on top and still call it cheesecake. You're right. Yeah.
But is cheesecake is a cake or is it a pie?
You know, it has a crust, so it's probably a pie.
Probably a pie. Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. If it has a crust, it's a pie.
The problem with that is if you call it cheese pie, then it gets confused with pizza. So I'm okay with this. It's a misnomer, but I'm okay with it.
I just saw the old Daily Show clip with Jon Stewart where he talks about Chicago pizza and how it's just a casserole.
Yeah. Casserole with bread on the bottom.
Yeah.
Very small amount
some
of bread.
French's onions on top of it. Might as well.
Yep. Well, it's not a casserole unless it has French's onion on top of it. Then that's what makes it a casserole.
I guess. I don't know. I'm not familiar with casseroles.
Hello and welcome to Foodcast, the galaxy's most unpredictable food podcast. We always seem to get off on this tangent. Food.
Everybody loves when we talk about food.
We do.
It's like one of the biggest topics in our group. You mention food, everybody goes nuts.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do when you're watching an episode of Star Trek for the 15th time you've seen that specific episode? You talk.
You shove some Doritos in your face.
Yeah, exactly. You eat something while you're watching it. Because the show itself is comfort food.
That's true.
That is true.
It is. It is. I'm actually right about something. Anyway.
There you go. Well, should we get to the news?
Yeah, let's get to the news.
Attention all hands. It's time for Star Trek news.
Take it away, Daniel.
All right. So our first news story comes to us from yahoo.com. I know. I'm amazed. And the headline reads, Star Trek CBS All Access to feature free marathon and panels to celebrate franchise. So to promote Star Trek, CBS All Access is going to be holding a free Star Trek marathon on September 8th. So a couple days from now. Yeah, Tuesday. It's going to be a 24-hour event. They're going to be playing episodes from the different series. They're going to be having panels. Sounds like there'll be a live stream going.
Yep.
Just featuring all this stuff. They've got panels for every series, including Strange New Worlds is going to have a panel. Enterprise, Discovery, DS9, the original series, Lower Decks, Voyager, Picard, all of them.
Everything but the animated series.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Well, I mean, if you have a TOS panel, it's an extension.
Yeah.
It is.
So you can go to StarTrek.com/day and you'll see the schedule for all the panels and all the programming. But I just figured I'd mention that.
Should be cool. It starts at like 3 o'clock in Eastern time.
Yeah, 3 a.m. Eastern time.
3 p.m. Eastern time, not 3 a.m.
Oh, somewhere I saw it said a.m.
Well, I hope it doesn't start at 3 a.m. Eastern time. Shit.
Well, I mean, they could with episodes.
Yeah, the free episodes might...
Oh, well, that's true.
Yeah.
I guess you got a point there. I'm wrong again.
Is this a worldwide thing?
Who knows?
Or is this
I guess we'll find out on the 8th.
Yeah, I'll wake up at 3 a.m. and if it's not there, I'm going to get pissed, Daniel.
I will not.
Yeah,
unless I'm up
there was
eating
Daniel's
cheesecake.
raised eyebrow like, well, you get pissed, Chad. It's your own damn fault.
Yeah. Literally, Netflix has all the episodes now. Who cares?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant no. I'm talking about the panels. The panels start at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Probably. Yeah.
Not the actual streaming of the shows. Okay, so that's where we got our wires crossed. No.
That makes sense.
The panels actually start when they're going to come on and do all of that at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. That's what I read anyway.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I see what you're saying. Gotcha.
Yeah.
We will correct you if you're wrong.
I'm sure you will.
Whatever.
You can trust in that, my friend.
Indeed. The internet will for sure.
No kidding.
Yeah. Next news story comes from NBCnews.com. Star Trek Discovery makes franchise history with trans non-binary characters.
Bullshit.
No, there's going to be 2 of them.
I mean, that's what they're saying, but they're wrong. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Because there's been others in the history.
Sure. At least 2. I mean,
yeah. Well, that's like when Sonequa Martin Green said that she was the first African American lead in Star Trek. Like, is Ben Sisko a joke to you? Come on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't really call Uhura a supporting cast member. Honestly, she was
one of the mains.
She's a main cast member.
Yeah.
So maybe she wasn't the headline like Kirk would be, but
right.
Yeah, again, Sisko, right? So
yeah.
I think they're doing this on purpose. I think they know better. This is what's even worse. You know, you can sit there and say, well, Alex Kirkman and company don't know any better because they don't know what Trek is or they don't know anything about it. I think it's actually worse than that. I think they know damn well what Trek is. I think they know damn well the history of Star Trek, and they know about all these things, and they say this shit anyway because they, in their head somewhere, in their head canon, they're preaching to a different audience. They're trying to get a different audience. They assume they're already going to have the original Star Trek crowd, and they're going to preach to a different audience. And so that's why they're doing this. They're doing this for clickbait, headlines, trying to draw in a new crowd. And that's
even worse.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's marketing, but that's basically the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's marketing.
But that's worse because you can still market that and tell the truth.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe that new audience that sees this, right, is going to look at that and go, really, they were doing that all the way back in the 90s? I should check the show out, right? I mean, what the fuck?
So Ian Alexander from the OA is going to play Gray, a trans man who spent his life as a Trill.
He looks like James Charles.
Yeah. And then newcomer Blue DeBarrio is going to play Adria, a non-binary character who bonds with Stamets and Dr. Culpepper. So, or Colbert.
Colbert.
Yeah, whatever.
That's pretty good.
Cole is his first name.
Right.
Yeah. His last name is Pepper, which would make him Dr. Pepper.
Yes. Okay. I have to say, I hate Dr. Pepper.
Oh no.
You know what I hate? I hate when I ask if a place has root beer and they say no, we have Dr. Pepper.
That's
like there's somehow
the same
thing. There's the same thing, and they're not even close to the same thing.
No.
That's like saying, do you have orange juice? No, we have milk.
I hear that around here when I ask, do you have root beer? No, we have cream soda. Lovely. Do you have root beer?
That one I accept. Because I do like cream soda.
So to go back to this article, right? So the first time we have a non-binary character is actually in a little show, unknown show to Star Trek. Wasn't really big in the 90s. So that I can see how Kurtzman and crew might have missed this, but it was called The Next Generation.
Oh,
and
yes.
It starred one of their characters in this particular episode. It was kind of a no-name character, so no one really knows who he is, but his name was William Riker. And it was an episode called The Outcast, and it was season 5, episode 17. It aired in 1992.
Yep.
Okay. Janal was
one of my favorite episodes.
Yep. Janal was the person's name, and it's an androgynous species where basically there is no male, there is no female, and you're supposed to bond with someone who also isn't male or female. And somehow she makes a decision in her relationship with Riker that she feels more female and she likes men, right? And so that's kind of the thing. And she's an outcast, and so she gets. Does she end up getting killed? I forget exactly what happened in this episode.
No,
she gets
fixed.
That's right.
For those on the audio stream, I'm doing air quotes.
Air quotes, yeah.
But she gets fixed by her people. She gets re-educated.
Yes.
Which we don't know exactly what that is. Some sort of mind control thing.
And then didn't they basically do that again with Trip Tucker? He met the cogenitor or whatever that was.
When he had the baby in his arm or something?
No. There's an episode where like they meet another ship, and they have like 3 genders, and like they
the third gender. All they did was supply an enzyme to have a baby, but they weren't allowed to read, they weren't allowed to write, they weren't allowed to have a life, have any friends or anything. They were basically treated like an object,
like a pet.
They were passed around from family to family, depending on where they were needed.
Yep. Yeah. So that was the second time that this happened, and of course before that, actually the second time it really happened was Jadzia. I mean, the Dax symbiote is also non-binary,
right?
Mm-hmm. So and they even touched on that in TNG, because the first time we met the Trill, well, they looked different.
Yep.
They changed the look of them when they went to Deep Space Nine, but it was the male doctor that Crusher. Well, he wasn't a doctor. I think he was a scientist or something. I don't know. Whatever. It was a male scientist that Crusher had a relationship with, and he got injured, and he got rejoined to a new host who was female, and he didn't care. She didn't care. Wanted to continue the relationship with Crusher, and Crusher wasn't down with it yet. But see, that's the thing between, and I'm going to use this phrase that people don't want to hear, old Trek versus new Trek, but old Trek was really good about using allegory to tell stories.
Yeah.
And it seems like new Trek, they're like, nah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to be in your face with it. And
to be fair, that's more modern storytelling anyways. Like any other thing, the allegories are not as subtle as they used to be.
Yeah, but when you use allegory, you can actually tell several stories at the same time.
Sure.
Okay, the one with Trip. Okay, was that about non-binary? Was that about a species with more than 2 genders, 3 genders, or was it also about slavery? Because in our own country, it was in our own country, there was a time when it was illegal to teach an African American to read, which is essentially what he did. He taught her to read, and it was and he got shit for it. So when you tell it in the form of an allegory, you can tell 2 or 3 different stories. When you're in your face with it, when they're in your face with it, it's like, nope, this is the story that we're telling. This is what
I agree with you.
That's the big difference, okay? And I know it's more of a modern thing nowadays to try to tell one story and shove it all in your face, right? But I think they're missing a point, because when you do it the way that it used to be done, not only are you telling multiple stories, but you're able to connect with people on more of a personal level, because they can pick out that one story that more relates to them. It makes it much more relatable and much more rewatchable.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The other thing with this too that I don't understand is, what is it about today's society and today's culture that makes us feel like we have to win battles we've already won?
Yeah.
Well, we have to constantly talk about this as if everybody in this country doesn't either understand what non-binary is, doesn't understand that there's, whatever. I don't want to get into the political side of this, but I don't understand why people feel like they have to fight battles that have already been won. There's other battles that need to be won, but I don't know why we have to constantly focus on ones that are already done. They're done. So anyway.
Well, going back to what Dan was talking more about the storytelling and being a little more, it's just better storytelling. This is going to sound weird, but I'll get to the point. It reminds me of Plato's Republic. In that classic literature.
Warning.
I know. I'm a nerd about storytelling though, so this is why.
I know.
Yeah, but it's okay on this show to be like a sci-fi nerd. You're like a school nerd right now.
Right? Yeah, I know.
Daniel's the sexy librarian. Okay, keep going, Daniel.
Right. Yeah, in Plato's Republic, they talk about how philosophers should be the head of society because they give you grand thoughts and all this stuff. But the the derelicts of society in Plato's Republic. The worst are the storytellers, because the storytellers can get you to change your mind without ever bringing up politics or anything else. They can be subversive by hiding an allegory. So I don't know. I just thought that was cool.
No.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me get to the last news story.
Yeah, I was gonna say more news.
Oh, we're still doing the news.
Yeah,
Still doing the news.
Well,
I was ready to give out the email addresses and go.
So
some days, Daniel, did you get the impression that Dan's like, move along, guys, I got other shit to do more important than you two?
Well, the yard's got to be mowed, right?
Oh my God! If you saw it, can you see
look at that?
Ugh.
Oh my Lord! Well, hey, you are doing your part to suck in CO2 and prevent climate change.
Well, that and
Throwing like a dribble.
And the hornets. You know, I haven't mowed for a month because the hornets. I kept getting stung by the hornets, and I was trying to get rid of them, and I kept getting stung, and eventually I plunked down the money and called an exterminator.
I just picture you going with a beekeeper suit on.
Dude, you didn't see the beekeeper suit?
Yeah, he had a beekeeper suit on when he mowed.
Yeah, I made one.
Yeah.
I had a beekeeper suit on to mow the lawn. I took I have some Carhartt coveralls. I put those on. I taped the legs to the boots. I taped the sleeves to my gloves.
We need a group of DIY.
I will. Oh, I'll definitely. Yeah. I'll put it in. I'll put it up. But I wore like a wide brimmed hat, and then I had a mesh laundry bag over my head, tucked into my coveralls, and then like an ascot tied around my neck. So I was fine.
It sounds great.
I was fine until I went into the screened-in porch and started taking it off. One of them was hiding somewhere.
Oh,
and he got me. So eventually, that was 2 weeks in a row I got stung by hornets. I was at urgent care, and they're getting confused looking at the chart because they're like, "No, you were here last week for this." I said, "Yeah, it was the other leg." But yeah, eventually I had to call an exterminator. And they came with they have this. It looks like a turkey baster with a long flexible tube, and they stick it in the hole in the ground, and they just kind of puff some powder in there, and makes them go to sleep and not wake up. So
interesting.
Yeah, murder hornets. I had the COVID. I had the murder hornets. I'm looking for the hat trick. I'm looking for the meteor to land on my house.
Well, it'll be right before the election. That's when that meteor is supposed to hit the Earth.
Awesome.
Yep.
I'm waiting for the alien invasion. I think that's our topper.
I don't think we're gonna get that.
That's a whole nother. Man.
That's a whole nother topic, but I don't think we're gonna get that.
All right.
I think we've already gotten it. We just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, if I had the X-Files theme song, I'd play it.
Yeah. All right, so last news story is from foodandwine.com. Star Trek adds 2 new limited edition wines to its fleet. So we're getting some new wines. One of them is a Federation of Planets Special Reserve. And the other one is the Klingon Blood Wine with air quotes.
Yeah.
So that's the red, and the other one is the white. You can buy a 2-pack of these online at StarTrekWines.com.
Oh, it comes in a 2-pack in case you want to make a rosé.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, or if you want it with your cheesecake.
There you go.
Yeah, the 2-pack alone is like $90.
Yeah, that's expensive wine.
And then they've got a special 4-pack that includes the Chateau Picard from last year.
Yeah.
And yeah, that 4-pack is like $200.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yikes.
You're paying for the labels, people.
You are paying for the labels. I mean, there are some people in this world who can taste that and taste the $2 chuck at Trader Joe's and tell the difference, but I can't. So
right.
Not me.
I don't drink, so.
That's right. You don't.
Yeah. This would be wasted on me.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. That's it.
That's the news.
Let's go into feedback.
Hailing frequencies. Open.
All right. So what do you got on the feedback side, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm scrambling right now to bring that up.
Okay, then while you're doing that, I will play the voicemail we got from our buddy Case Gentry. Case.
Hi there, guys. Watching the latest episode on YouTube, and wanted to let you know that I think I would seriously consider reporting the YouTube video for copyright infringement, just to prevent anyone else from having to hear William Shatner sing, or anything else for that matter. I would rather listen to Chad singing Klingon opera than have to listen to an entire song off of any of his albums, Shatner's albums. I mean, ouch. My ears hurt. It was just awful. But, hey, at least the guy used to be able to act really well, so yay for that. Thanks, guys. You're doing a great job as always. Take care. Bye-bye.
I like him. We got to have him on again.
Yeah,
we do. Well, we were supposed to, in terms of right before Discovery happens, we're going to do like a round table of our predictions for season 3, right? So,
right, yeah.
And one of the things that's going to happen at this panel on Tuesday, by the way, is supposedly a new trailer for season 3 is going to drop outside of the one they've already released, which kind of gives up what the season looks like, but maybe they'll have some new little hints. I don't know. Maybe
they'll give us an R2-D2 now and bring in their own little robots.
More bots, yeah. More bots. Well, if you're 1,000 years into the future, how can you not have more?
Got to make that franchise money, man.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel, when is it? When is it usually that a show starts aging and they add a kid and a dog? Is that the 3rd season or the 4th season?
Oh, it's like the 4th or 5th.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
They're trying to push it over the top to get that syndication money.
Well, I mean, we had a Wesley, so yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, this non-binary character that they announced, not the one that looks like
I've seen
James Charles, but the other one looks like a 13-year-old Wesley Crusher. Like no shit, no shit. Yeah. So there they go. You added the kid.
Very close.
It's really close.
Yeah, very close comparison.
Yeah.
We do have a question from Sam that's pretty good. It seems like new Trek rewards insubordination a lot more than old Trek. Can you guys think of a time in previous Trek series where insubordination was encouraged this much? He means like Burnham and Mariner, pretty insubordinate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kirk stole the Enterprise.
There's that.
And his reward was they gave him an Enterprise. I mean, they told him your punishment is to be demoted back to the rank that you wanted to be anyway. And here's a new ship.
And
so, I mean, that's a pretty big, reward for insubordination.
Yeah, but I get what he's saying, because that's a one-off. With Kirk, that's not really a one-off, because he does a lot of that kind of crap, right?
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot of that kind of crap. But over and over and over again, but not quite as in your face as what Mariner is or what Burnham is. So I get the point. I understand. It's just that I think that there's a little bit more of it. It's a little bit more obvious. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to think now.
It even happened with Archer. I mean, Archer's nothing but subordinate in the first 2 episodes, Broken Bow Part 1 and 2, right? I mean, he's just literally chomping to just take the damn thing out and say, screw you to everybody, including his commanding officer. So, I mean,
the pale moonlight, yo.
The pale moonlight. I mean, yeah, exactly. So, I mean,
Well, no, he wasn't insubordinate. He broke laws, but he wasn't insubordinate, because Starfleet, he had the blessing of Starfleet to do everything that he did.
That's true.
So that's not insubordination.
Well, I think it gets back to how the stories are being told, right? It's that conversation we just had at the beginning of the show. The new Trek is just more in your face, whereas opposed to the old Trek was a little bit more subtle about things, which and that's a difference of style. That's a difference of culture and how people are sucking in shows now at this point. Unfortunately, I think you have to be a little bit more in your face in order to get that attention and to get your point across.
Hey, Worf straight up murdered a guy on the Enterprise.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
I mean, and Picard was very disappointed in him.
Very disappointed. That was it.
I mean, Cisco destroyed the atmosphere of a planet.
Yeah, just to piss that guy off when he was going after him. Yeah, just to prove a point. Yep. Yep.
I'm sure Miles did something. That guy's always up to no good.
He came back late from Quarks every night.
That'll do it.
he was definitely insubordinate, but that was Keiko, not Cisco.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only one I've got.
I got one more feedback.
Okay.
We can move on from that. So one of the posts that was made, it was actually made by Case as well, I believe, in the group, was my saying from last week. The whole nothing but the truth, only your perception of it. This got quite a bit of conversation going in the group. So if you haven't seen that yet, you should go find it and look at it. David Yee, I just want to give him a shout out because he had the best round robin here in our conversation. It was just brilliant. So he says, yeah, I agree with you. The truth is often perception. What Picard is trying to say sometimes is the truth is often so irrefutable that you can't deny it, and you must seek it to support it. You must seek to support it, whether it's morally correct or just the right thing to do, or scientifically correct, because the so-called alternative truth is just so patently wrong or unjustifiable. There will always be room for perception, but in the end, some things are just fact or crazy fiction. So, this goes on for a while, but my favorite one here is this post that somebody made from an old non sequitur comic. I'm trying to find it. Oh, here it is. And it's just brilliant because this proves the point. You got two guys staring at each other. They both got placards on like it's the end of the world. But they're looking at one another, and one of the placards says the facts as they are, and the other placard says the truth as I see it. And this is what happens when the irresistible force meets the immovable object. So that's perfect, right? I mean that's what it is, and everything gets boiled down to people's differing opinions or perceptions of what they believe is either truth or fact. So, it's not a fact that CO2 is a deadly carcinogen in our atmosphere, but we have people who perceive it that it is. Mm-hmm. So, at any rate, okay, moving on.
I did find that I have an email.
Oh yeah, good.
From Snozzlefeet.
Yeah.
And so he says, "Hey guys, I found a weird connection in my personal life to Trek this week. Unfortunately, it came in form of finding out that my 8-year-old dog has advanced liver cancer.
Oh,
no. Research natural things to help improve liver function and his quality of life. Our vet led us to a product called Stamets 7. It's a pill made of 7 mushroom blend. The product was developed by a man named Paul Stamets. Paul Stamets is American mitochondrial. He studies fungi from Ohio. I couldn't help but connect this Paul Stamets to Discovery's Paul Stamets, and it turns out he was part of the character's inspiration." Yeah.
Yep, sure was.
Wow.
I remember going over that when we first started with Discovery and how they came up with these characters. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about your dog. I'm a dog person, and I like most dogs more than most people. So, I hope he or she is okay.
Yeah, for sure. That's no fun.
Yeah, we got our new puppy last weekend.
That's right.
8 weeks old, now 9 weeks old as of yesterday, and it's like a baby in the house. Every for the first week, it was almost every 2 hours you're getting up and walking her, and she would yip and not, in her kennel, which is right next to the bed, like you'd have a bassinet next to the bed. So it's
you named her Michael Burnham, right?
No, Finley Gray, that's her name.
Finley Gray. Okay.
Lee is my wife's middle name. Grace is my daughter's middle name, and Ray is my other daughter's middle name. So Finn Lee Gray. There you go.
Okay.
All kind of fits together.
Cool.
Oh, didn't we get a coffee account?
We did get 2 donations. I've got them both pulled up because I was just thinking about that when you mentioned Snuzzlefeet, because he was one of the donations. So a day ago, Snuzzlefeet gave us a good hefty donation.
Indeed.
$30. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
And he says, is there a way to do reoccurring payments? Here, take all my money.
There is. We got to set it up, but there is.
Yeah, it is set up where we can now take reoccurring payments. I want to make sure I give a shout out to who made that possible, and that was Case Gentry.
Yeah.
Gentry Case. He did make that possible by paying the subscription fees or whatever to the coffee account, so that we have the ability for people to do reoccurring payments. We would love for you guys to start doing that. So that would be cool.
Set it up.
You can. We definitely can. So I don't know. The three of us have talked every once in a while about doing tiers and different things like that. I don't want to get into that right now on the show, but we should probably think about that a little bit and figure out what we can do there for those people who do start doing the reoccurring stuff.
We should just ask the group, like, what would they want?
Yeah, what would they want?
Yeah.
What would they want?
I'm going to make a post about it when you guys listen to this, and we'll just tell us what you would want.
Yeah. And we'll try to make something happen. Yeah. So it's all about, this, like we've said this for years. So anybody new listening to this who hasn't heard me say this before, hasn't heard Dan or Daniel say this before, the three of us are doing this show because we are fans of the show, the original show, David Ivey, Darren Benjamin, Alicia Ivey, and that other host that started for the first 2 episodes, then disappeared. I forget his name. Back in 2008.
Think his last name was Yar or something
Yar,
like that.
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But at any rate, we were fans of the show, and obviously we're fans of Trek, and we wanted to see this thing continue. And so we are doing this for the fans and for ourselves. So for those of you that listen to this show and say, it's not a very good news show. It's entertaining, but it's not a news show. This is not a news show.
Right.
This is not a news show. When we figure out what kind of show it is, we will let you know.
That's
but in
correct.
the meantime,
that's correct.
Come along for the ride.
Yep, that's it. So anyway, yeah, put a post up there. That'd be great. That's a good idea. Let folks tell us what they want to see if we end up doing that. Well, we're going to do that. We're going to turn on the reoccurring and get the tiers or something. We'll figure it out. So I'm sure we can find something. That would be cool. I'd love to see us get enough that's coming in every month to get us off of Skype, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but when you go back and listen to the show, right now everything sounds great with the soundboard and it's all wonderful. But every once in a while, you get some clipping. If there's if there's something coming in from the soundboard or you guys are talking, we get clipping over the top of one another and you can't hear us all have our same reactions. It just randomly picks one over the other. That's a Skype issue.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do about it. So
I always sound lower for some reason than when I sound to you guys.
Yeah, like right now, all three of us sound great. Even Dan in his van down by the river sounds wonderful. But no, when you go back and listen to it, it's a Skype thing. It's done some flipping and things. So it kind of degrades the audio a little bit. And it makes the video a little wonky. If you're watching YouTube, you really can't watch it. You just have to listen to it because our video is a little choppy.
Yeah.
So, half the world is working virtually right now. So there's a lot of different platforms out there that people are using. Is there one of them out there that's, would be better?
We could try.
Skype?
There are several. There's a few that I've looked at, but the problem is if you want to make it better, then you've got a monthly subscription for it.
How much is something like that?
I have to go back and look again. The last time I looked at Squadcast, I want to say it was almost $50 a month, but that might be too much. But there's others. I mean, I know there's Zoom's made a lot of improvements lately for their paid subscriptions on this kind of stuff. I don't know how well that would work. I think we'd want to find one that would allow us to, if we're going to pay for something, I think we'd want to find one that allows us to have people to be able to join. Like right now, we could add multiple people into the Skype call with no problem. So I wouldn't want us to get something that hamstrings us to 4 or 5, I still want to be able to do our round tables and things like that. And I want it to still be able to work easily if we do a show live at, say, something like STLV. So we have to think about it a little bit. And kind of balance that. But yeah, there's a lot of platforms out there that we could look at. So we'll just have to play around. That's an idea anyway.
Donate to the coffee account, guys, so we can
we
can grow the show.
Not that I want that to be the one thing that it all goes to, but it's an idea. It's a thought as far as the sound goes and the clipping. But anyway, okay.
Well,
and then Commander Felton also gave a donation. I can't forget that. 4 days ago, he says a coffee for each of you. Keep the podcast coming. Commander Felton. We certainly will, Commander. Thank you so much. Yeah. He's one of our regular, him and Snuzzlefeet and John and every once in a while Mike Medina and all 15 versions of Daryl, Taryn, Lumberjack Daryl, Coopster. Trying to see, let me show some more here. A lot of different people in the coffee account. Yeah, Mike Medina.
My ex-girlfriend once.
Hunter, yeah, your ex-girlfriend once.
So hit her up again, man.
Yeah. Let me get right on that.
Make that call. Put the time in.
Yep. Chris Wasdyke. I'm just listing out the folks who've donated here recently in the last 2 or 3 months, just to give them shout outs again. Hey, it's Cujo.
Thank you to all of them.
Juan, where have you been? You haven't donated in a while, buddy.
That's right, Juan. It's a shakedown.
Did you guys see the Chris Reed post a couple weeks ago?
No. What he said? Yeah, I haven't seen anything from him in a while.
I can't remember what he asked.
We said something,
but he asked a question, and somebody said, "Is Chris Reed actually engaging with the other members? Because usually when he posts stuff, he'll just post a news article or something."
Yeah, that's right. Or a
with
picture
no
of
personal
someone from
message.
Pinterest.
Yeah. And for a split second, I'll think that person's dead. But yeah, somebody said, "Did Chris Reed just engage directly with the membership?"
Yeah.
And I said I described Chris Reed as the Deadpool of the Trekcast family.
Yeah,
every once in a while, he breaks that fourth wall and speaks directly to us, but not too often. Don't get used to it.
And usually at only awkward times, because that's when it makes it funny. So
That's true.
Love you, Chris. Keep those posts coming, man. That's the whole flavor of the group. It's awesome. There's so many different people in there. It's great. It's wonderful. So that group is really alive. We have a lot of fun in there.
Yes.
So I think that's it for the feedback. I believe we are ready to get into the topic, unless you have anything else, Daniel.
Nope. Let's get to the topic.
All right, let's go. Sorry, I had that turned up so that we could hear Case's voicemail, and then I forgot to turn it back down.
Nice.
It's fine.
Yeah, we just blew out someone's speakers in their 1992 Toyota.
So was there like some Star Trek on this week?
There was. I had so much fun with this episode. It was Lower Decks, obviously, episode 5, Cupid's Errant Arrow. It was directed by Kim Arndt. This is the only reason I bring this up, because this is the second time that Kim has directed a Lower Deck. The first one she did was episode 2, Envoys, which I also laughed at quite a bit. So I think Kim's got a little bit of the secret sauce here. I wouldn't say these are my two favorite, although, well, maybe they are so far, because in terms of just having fun with it, this one was just, I've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 different lines from the show that I wrote down while I was watching it because I laughed so hard when I heard it, even though they make no sense, but whatever. The synopsis is, if you guys want me to read it.
Go for it.
Ensign Mariner's on a mission. It's not a mission to explore a strange new world or make peace with an advanced alien culture. Instead, Mariner is all about unmasking her best friend's new girlfriend as a space monster in disguise, which was pretty damn funny, really. It was pretty good how they did it. And of course, spoiler alert, because we spoil everything here. At the end of the episode, towards the end of the episode, comes to find out that this girl, what was her name? Was her name Barbara?
Barb, yeah.
Barb. She thinks Mariner's a space alien, a space monster in disguise as well. So the whole time in the background, she's doing the same shit that Mariner's doing. You just never see her do it. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. But when the whole thing kicks off, the first line I heard that was just hysterical was "hopped up Q on Picard Day."
Yeah.
A Captain Picard Day. Anyway. That's a pretty nice little reference right there. I don't understand why Brad Boimler, 20 years removed or 15 years removed from Picard being a big thing. Maybe he learns about Captain Picard Day in class or something.
I think he's such a nerd.
Yeah.
He's such a Starfleet buff that he has probably read the logs of famous captains throughout the history of Starfleet. That's probably what he does. He sits in bed at night and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna read Sisko's entire career. I'm gonna start with his, when he was an ensign on the whatever, and just read all of his logs."
Mm-hmm.
Because who else would know about Captain Picard Day other than people who were on the Enterprise at that time period?
Correct. Yep. Everybody would know about Q, so I get that.
Yeah.
The second reference.
My thought was like when they go to star bases, they interact with other crews from other ships. So oh God, our guy's got a holiday for himself. Yeah.
Well, see, we should hear more things like that about people we don't even know of, but hear about their weird things, which does happen, actually. That engineer who's on that other ship, I forget the name of the other ship now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're trading stories.
Yeah, he's complaining about how bad it is there because he's tired of being part of the A-list team because it's just constantly crazy. I don't want to go back to 1920s gangster land anymore. You know?
Right.
He wants to get out of there. That was funny. That was hysterical. But the other quote, I'll just go through these if you want. I don't know how you guys want to do this because we always just throw shit up at the wall and see what sticks. But the other quote was Kirk. That guy is like a Kirk Sunday with Trip Tucker sprinkles.
Yes. I laughed way too hard about that.
I was like, a what? That's too funny. And of course, Barb used to date that guy. So, he's getting all jealous and like, what the hell? This happens to every guy if he lands a girl that he's like, out of his league, or he feels like is out of his league, right? All of a sudden he just goes nuts. And then he loses the girl because he went nuts. And if he was just himself, he would have been fine. So a good allegory there for any kids 13, 14, 15 that are watching this. Just be yourself.
Yep.
And have a parasite in the back of your head that makes the hot woman love you.
That'll do it.
That's all you got to do.
Just get that parasite.
Yeah. That little parasite was cuter than shit, though.
Oh, yeah.
Come date me. I buy you dinner. Come date me. I buy you dinner.
The sound that the parasite made when they first pulled it out sounded familiar. Did that sound clip? Did that sound familiar to you guys? I thought I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again because I literally watched this episode. I finished about 5 minutes before I came out to the van.
You pulled the chat. I did that last week.
When I messaged you guys and said I'm gonna need a few minutes.
You're watching the show.
Nice.
Well, usually you need a few minutes because you're on the pot, but
no. I'm compromised right now. I'm running on willpower right now, but well, getting stuck at work 2 days in a row. I mean, the cheesecake and the wine that was supposed to be watching this show, and it didn't happen. So I had to do it this morning before I came out here.
Now, is she watching the show with you? Jennifer usually watching the show with you?
Not all the time. If I'm gonna watch it and the kids are asleep, she'll watch it with me, but I don't wait for her to watch it. She doesn't care about it that much.
Gotcha.
So she laughs and she gets most of the jokes because she's been married to me.
Right.
And I dragged her to STLV a couple hundred times.
Right. So the other one, this is a reference that I love because it was just thrown in there, and in case you weren't really paying attention, you would miss it. This is another one too where I don't understand how Mariner would know this unless she is just as much of a nerd about reading logs as Boimler is, and she says, "It's like a bunch of sexy people and rompers that murder you for going on the grass."
Yes.
Yeah. So here's my thing with this show. I know that they've said that it's canon, but in my head, it's not.
Right.
Some of these jokes that they make, it doesn't make sense for these characters to have this information. So, I look at this show the way I look at like Teen Titans Go. Mm-hmm. It takes place in the DC universe, so they're going to interact with all these other DC characters. The Flash will just show up out of the blue, and it's cool. But nothing they do affects anything else. Right. That's how I look at it.
Yep. It's fun. That's a hysterical line when Mariner says that. I just instantly pictured Wesley and those half naked girls, and he's just sitting there like a 13-year-old horny boy going, "Oh my."
But they do pay attention to a lot of the minutia, like that flashback scene.
Yes.
Where Mariner is on Deep Space Nine.
Yep.
Sitting at Quark's bar.
Yep.
Okay. And she's wearing uniforms. Well, they were First Contact style uniforms.
Right, yeah.
Okay. But if you look in the background in the very first scene, someone is wearing a Voyager style uniform. Mm-hmm. So they're giving you an actual time period where this scene takes place, because there were several months where there was some crossover where both uniforms were in use.
Yeah. So how old does that make Mariner?
That's the thing. She's got to be, in
her 40s or something, or 30s.
I was gonna say early 40s, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty hyped up for early 40s.
Yeah.
Well, unless I'm wrong. Unless
you're right.
Or
You're
unless
right. I saw
unless that was an animation error.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. Well, maybe. I'm going to give them credit and say probably not. They did that on purpose. Whether they really thought about the timeline or not doesn't matter. But they probably did that on purpose,
What
just for
style?
the nostalgia's sake.
Do we know what style comm badge they were wearing?
I didn't pick up on that. I was trying. I was
I'll
going to, but I didn't. It was just too. It was too fun. Seeing. I knew she was in Quark's bar. I was waiting to see Quark. I wanted to see her. I was looking for that somewhere in the background. I was looking for a Ferengi somewhere, and I didn't see it.
Oh, I want Armin Shimmerman.
Oh, he's got to be on there.
So bad.
He's got to be on there.
So bad.
Yeah.
No, that was actually my next thing that I put in line here to mention was that scene, that flashback scene. It was good.
Yeah.
Then of course we get Mariner running through the corridor. It's not really a line or anything, but she's trying to get through people and shove people over, and she shoves an Andorian out of the way and calls her Jennifer.
Some of the visual humor cracks me up.
Yeah.
And it's so subtle.
Right.
They've talked about how it's not a very good ship. It doesn't get the A jobs. It gets the B jobs and the C jobs.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, they show the Cerritos is in orbit, and then the other ship comes into orbit and literally overshadows
Yep.
the Cerritos.
Yep. Well, and then they had the whole Tindy and Rutherford are talking about how the Cerritos is falling apart. I like those two characters. I think they're going to have a relationship at some point because they're so much alike. But, they're talking about how it's falling apart and they can't get parts for this. They don't have the newest stuff. And then, of course, when they get over to the other ship, they've got those new scanners or whatever, and they're fighting for them and don't even realize it means they're going to get transferred. And they don't want that at all, as it turns out. They really want to be on the Cerritos, even though it's, they call it a hunk of junk that's falling apart. It's an old ship, apparently. They make that reference a few times. I don't think I've heard that before.
No, I didn't either. Yeah.
But yeah, that is a classic example of something very subtle. They told a story there between the two of them about how they feel about the ship that they're on without necessarily shoving it in your face.
Right.
At the very end, obviously, they say, well, this is exactly why I want to stay here versus everything else. But it's really their friends, right? And so that was well done. That was really well done. I enjoyed that. And the only other line that I have written down that I thought was just hysterical was that engineer on the other ship. And he says, my mother's neighbor's friend is the admiral, and he's a psycho. What the fuck? What? Out of the blue, just what?
Yeah.
That gets back into that.
I
think they did that on purpose because that's a classic callback to how all these admirals in Starfleet are just trash.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I've got some of the Easter eggs from Den of Geeks.
Oh, okay,
cool. Go for it.
So one of them is the theory that Barb is a Time Lord because she actually spouts a few lines from Doctor Who when she talks about reverse the polarity of the neutron flow or reverse the polarity and reboot the time stream. Those are common tropes in Doctor Who. So
I would know.
Yeah.
Doctor what? What show is this? I've never heard of it.
Doctor Who.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who?
Indeed. Let's see.
I mean who?
Meow. I don't know.
He's not getting it.
No, I get
it. Got it. He's just trying to move on.
He's just trying to get shut up. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, your joke sucks, Dad. We're moving on.
Yeah. They say that the bugs are a connection to conspiracy, but they don't know for sure that it's a connection, but clearly a reference from the TNG episode. Yeah. Let's see. They talk about a Dyson sphere, calibrate the Dyson sphere. So that's pretty cool. And Tindy guessed the correct password, which was Riker.
Oh, that was that was good. He's like, wait a minute. What was the winner's name of that portrait? By the way, I forget. Did we say that on the air? I know we said something in the group, but that painting.
Oh no, I don't. I totally forgot about that.
Scott Boyer. Say his name. Scott Boyer's name. That guy.
Mm-hmm.
Forget what the name. Anyway, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Someone won that. Anyway, go ahead, keep going.
Let's see. Mariner's conspiracy chart had all sorts of references all over it, including Seska and the Duras sisters.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't freeze frame that to find out.
Transporter clone is in there. So Dennis Riker. No. Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of the whales are in there.
The Riker maneuver, that's what it's called. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. The whales are in there and the salt vampire is in there. So yeah.
That's what that thing was. Yeah, I saw that, and first I was like, what the hell has that got to do with? You're right, that was the salt vampire from TOS. Yep.
Yeah. So
I thought it was pretty funny when Mariner asks for an emergency site-to-site transport and spouts off some code. And the guy's like, request denied. Who is this? What is that code? Is that even a real code?
Yeah.
And if you think about it, it's like, there's got to be some like security level there where, you can't just, hey, I don't feel like walking to 10 forward. I think I'm going to do a site-to-site transport and just materialize at my favorite seat at the bar.
That would be a great thing to add into as a scene though in this show, because you could pull it off on this show where she says I stole the codes or whatever, and now she's just popping in everywhere. She pops into Boimler's room and he's like, where she pops into 10 forward to grab something, and is just scaring the shit out of everybody. That would be funny. Speaking of which, she does walk in on him naked.
Yeah.
It's a lot of naked cartoons.
There are.
Yeah.
It's almost as if anyway, no.
You pay to draw the clothing, apparently. One last Easter egg. When Mariner talks about setting him up with a Phalosian, that's from the animated series. They're a group of plant people.
Yeah. That's a deep cut.
That is a very deep cut. They do a good job of that, like really deep.
They
cut.
really do.
Yeah.
These guys know their shit.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing, right? The people that did this, that have done the first two seasons of Discovery know their shit as well, but they're not
ignoring it.
They're ignoring it. Whereas
these two shows have different target audiences, I think.
Well, yeah.
Well, remember, Chad, they are unshackled from canon in season 2.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Finally, we'll get the show they've been wanting.
Yeah, after on the third season, they'll finally get it right. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
that would fall in line with every other show, wouldn't it?
And then next year we get the kid and the dog.
That's right.
Oh boy.
I'm hoping for a space robot dog.
Space robot dog.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why don't we just get Twiggy? Beady beady.
Well, in Doctor Who, there's K9, which is the space robot dog.
Oh, geez.
So, that's clever.
Yeah, they thought about that for a while.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Big boardroom. All right, what are we going to name the space robot dog?
Well, that's British humor for you. That's the problem.
Yeah. I don't get British humor.
I do. I mean,
I can't. I
told you guys about when I did the DNA test, right?
No.
So forever and ever, and
wait,
as
are
long
you
as I can
100%
recall.
that bitch?
Do what? Say that again.
What?
Say that again, Daniel.
There's that song by Lizzo where she says, "I just took a DNA test. I'm 100% that bitch." So you said you just took a DNA test.
I just took a DNA test. Yeah, no.
So what are you, Labradoodle? What?
Yeah, exactly. No. Well, forever and a day, I've always been told that I've got Native American blood, like big time. Like I should be like 1/8 Indian.
Yeah.
And I could have gone to college in Wisconsin for free for that. You know,
but Elizabeth Warren, let us know.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I have zero.
They've been lying to you?
I am. Yeah, I have a higher percentage of Nigerian ancestry than Elizabeth Warren has Indian.
Is what you keep emailing me.
Yeah, 2%. So
Prince Waldo wants my cash.
Waldo wants my cash.
No, I'm like 57% British, and the rest is a mix between German, Irish, and Nigerian.
But now you are 100% on file with the government. So there you go.
I was thinking about doing those DNA tests for Christmas for my family because they're into that. I really don't care, but
yeah. Well, I at least took one that wasn't the one that's going to put me on file with the American government. I just took the one that puts me on file with the Chinese government. I don't give a shit what they do.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So Daniel, how like cheated would you feel if it comes back? It just says 100% Mexican. It's like,
I would feel accurate.
Yeah.
It's like I paid for that.
Yeah.
Well, would that show you some Aztec ancestry or Mayan? I mean, I'm sure they've got that in there.
Well, the reality is the story of like the Latin cultures is so fucked up and weird up because there's slavery in there. They had black slaves down there. There's the conquistadors. There's the natives of that area. So it's all a big mix of God knows what. So, you know, they say something like they say something like if you look back in the lineage of Mexico, like something like 30% of the population is related.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't go that far back.
So it's the Arkansas of Central America.
See. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. You know, people throw around the term indigenous people, and it's really, I mean, how do you determine that? Because every group of people that is somewhere probably displaced another group of people that were there.
Yep.
As far back as, you know, the Homo sapien, you know, displaced the Cro-Magnon.
Right.
And there are people, you know, you do these DNA tests. There are people today that they can determine have Cro-Magnon genes because those two interbreeded for years. So, I mean, if I have Cro-Magnon genes, am I entitled to reparations from Chad because he only has Homo sapien genes and you
Anglo-Saxons?
You displaced my people and gave us smaller foreheads?
Whoa! You saying they have a big forehead? What?
I mean,
or is it the other way around? You have the big
forehead. The other way
around.
No, I don't have the big forehead because it's been a couple 100,000 years. But my great granddad walked with a hunch, was really hairy, and had a big, giant, thick skull.
Dan's a Neanderthal.
That's it.
That's funny. That is funny.
Yeah.
I do like the one scene at the end of this.
We're back to Star Trek.
Yeah, we're back
to Star Trek. Anyway, I do like the one scene at the end when the captain of the Cerritos is arguing with this one guy about everybody on his planet's going to die, and she finally figures out there's only the guy and his wife because he's really rich. Yeah. And she goes, "There are 2 fucking people on the whole fucking planet. Blow it up." That was good. That was good.
Like,
she was done.
Redid the carpets or whatever.
Yeah, they just you the inhumanity. We just redid the carpets. I mean, that's just hysterical.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was good. Anyway,
all right. Well, that's it for the episode, right?
Yeah, I think we're
so.
good.
I think we're good on that. Yeah.
All right, we can clock out.
Dan can go mow.
Oh, yikes.
All right, here, I actually have an outro if we're ready to go. Obviously, you can email us at trekcasttng@gmail.com. Chadiswrong@gmail.com. You can go to our website, trekcast.com. Make sure to get over to the Instagram, trekcasttng, the Twitter, trekcasttng. And, of course, you can call in and leave us a voicemail at any time at 816-287-0448. I finally memorized the freaking phone number.
Wow.
So,
nice.
Yes, there you go. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Great show, guys. Appreciate it. And we are out.
Well, there you have it. Another episode in the can. Check us out at trekcast.com. Also, if you would, please subscribe to us via iTunes. Leave those reviews. Subscribe to us. We get some numbers, get up the list, get more listeners, do more shows, have more fun. But for now, we're all done. So live long and prosper, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we need a new one of those because subscribe to iTunes. Like nobody says that anymore.
Yeah. It's called Apple Podcasts now.
Well, or just make sure you subscribe.
Right.
Wherever, YouTube, any podcast player, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Subscribe
So
on the interwebs.
Should we have David record it? Just blow everybody's mind?